This podcast is intended for mature audiences only.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cuckold Marriage Podcast. I'm Cuckoldress Lexie Meadows, and today we have a very special episode for you. Joining us is author Gabriella Lovelace, who did something incredibly unique. She wrote a fictional story inspired by Chris and me. It's based on us and our relationship and some of our adventures. We're going to talk about what inspired the book and what it's like bringing real people into a fictional world and give you a little preview of what's waiting inside the pages. So let's go ahead and jump in. Chris, are you ready?
I am ready. Gabby, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have you and on camera too. So thank you so much for joining us all the way from the UK.
I'm so pleased to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
So, what you did is really cool. So you wrote a fictional story, an erotic story, that is leveraging basically Lexie and I as the main characters. How did it feel to write a story based on actual people rather than just fictional folks that you made up?
Honestly, it was super different. I had to be really mindful of you guys because it's real people, but I was right. Usually, I can make them do anything. I can make my characters, do any kind of stuff, and there's no impact in real life because they're all made up. But with you guys, if I made you do like wild things, then people in your lives might think, oh, they do these kind of crazy. So I had to be very mindful of what I felt that your limits might be the limits that you told me that you needed. It was a very different kind of and I had to try and make it real to you as well, so it felt like you. So it was a really different writing experience, and I loved the challenge. Honestly, it was lovely.
Oh wow! And we should have started with this, but what is the title of the book?
It is Lexie's Midnight Seductions.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So without giving away any spoilers, what's the basic premise of the book and what can readers expect?
So it's 5 short stories about you guys. It's just different kind of like little scenarios that I've heard you talk about, that I've improvised on and taken inspiration from. Stuff that I thought would be true to you, but also was taking inspiration from your kind of really sexy stories that you talk about, and how thrilling they are. And I thought, well, it'd be quite interesting to be sort of from your point of view whilst it's happening. That would be a different angle to your story.
I thought it was really cool because it really did feel like almost like a podcast episode, like Lexie and I talking about it, because the way that you write is so interesting, where you have different points of view interjecting. So you would have, for example, the same scene taking place, but you give Lexie's point of view. Then in the next chapter, you give mine. And I thought that was so cool. I love the way that you write like that.
Yeah, and I thought it was really amazing that, we didn't really give you a whole lot to go on. We kind of, you went on, based on a lot of, our past podcasts, us giving you some of those boundaries and limitations. But, mostly, you came up with these amazing stories, and they're so good that, they're similar to ones that we have had. And even the ones that don't quite line up with experiences we've had, they're ones that we, I can look at it and be like, yeah, I could see us doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
Such an amazing job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was really important to me for it to feel authentic, because that's the unique thing about this story. Unlike almost any other cuckolding story that I've read, they're not. They're obviously from that person's life, and they may be inspired from real events. I don't know, but for this one, it really is real people. It stars you guys, and inspired from real things that happen to you. So although the stories are fictional, I hope that it has some authenticity, and it sounds like it might have rung a bell. So yeah, delighted about that.
Yeah. What was the most fun scene to write, and why did it stand out for you?
I don't want to give away too much, but I think it's the last chapter where there's some stuff going on there. So I'd originally written something which I'd written before, but from a different kind of angle in a different book. And I remember when I sent that over to you, you said, actually, that isn't something that we would do. And I was, and you kind of gave me an idea of something else, and that sparked something in me. And I thought, oh, there's something that I've never done there before. A really like sexy thing. And I thought, I can't wait to get that on the page. So yeah, it was you that it was your inspiration coming back to me saying something more along these lines, and it sparked a whole extra bit. And I thought, oh god damn, that is sexy.
It was hot. I mean, it was hot reading that book. I was getting hot and bothered. So, did writing the book change your kind of way you think about Lexie or our relationship in general? Like, how did it advance? How you see the two of us?
So what it did. I mean, I've felt for ages listening to your podcast that there is a certain kind of real love to it between you guys, and that comes across. And I think that with your dynamic, what's really interesting about it is how honest you have to be with each other. Probably more honest than vanilla couples. I think that is something that is really very touching and very sweet. I had one of the chapters I had to get rid of because I started writing it, and it was so personal to you guys that I thought I can't write this because it's your lives. It's getting too like private, too kind of like intimate. But but it's how I feel about you guys. I think that you're a lovely couple more than anything else. That really comes across, and that was something that when I was writing about you, that I felt was coming off the page to me and going on to the page. That was the thing that really made me sort of feel a bit more in depth. Does that ring true to you guys?
Yes, 100%. And I think you hit the nail on the head on a lot of the stuff that we try to communicate through the podcast, and that's that we're a loving couple, and the podcast is about cuckolding, but even at a deeper level, it's about relationship dynamics, communication, trust, love, commitment, jealousy. It's about all of those things just held in the container of an alternative relationship dynamic. So I'm really glad you're able to pick up on that and really see the true essence of our relationship, which is based on love and commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the honesty that you have with each other is just phenomenal, and I think enviable by I would say probably the majority of vanilla couples. I think that level of honesty is really magical.
Mhm.
Oh, thanks. Was there ever a moment in your writing where you kind of surprised yourself and the story took off in a different direction than you had originally planned?
Yeah, so with some of the stories, some of them I knew what I wanted out of it. I'll have like a beginning, and I'll know where it's kind of going in the middle, and I'll know where I want it to end up. Um, Usually, I like to have a bit of a twist in the story, and sometimes I'll work back from the twist back to the start. But one of the stories I wrote, and I didn't know where it was going to go at all. I just thought, I've got a little scenario, and I thought, you must have kind of like a regular bull that you see, and I thought, what would happen if that regular bull had um, started a relationship and got out of the scene, and then maybe come back to the scene, but maybe in a different way. I thought that would be an interesting thing to explore. So I started with that kind of idea, and the story just wrote itself. And I was reading it along with the reader. So whoever is reading it, I'm reading it with you as I'm writing it, and that was really fun to do. When the imagination is just going off on its own little journey, that was brilliant.
That must be so much fun just writing that and have that pour out of you. I love it. I love it. When I was young, I used to write a lot of short stories. And so I remember how fun it was not knowing how something was going to end. So yeah, that must have
Oh,
been a lot of
brilliant.
fun for you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, have you ever thought of doing it a little bit more?
I don't know about that. I'll leave that to the pros like you, Gabby. We'll see. Maybe someday. But what emotions do you want to leave readers with? So they finish the last page. What do you want? How do you want them to feel at the end? I mean, they're going to be hot and bothered and turned on for sure, because I was when I read that book. But what other emotions do you want to leave them with?
I want to leave them with one hand very busy.
I think that's going to
Love it.
happen. I think that's going to happen. I mean, look, the cover of the book has Lexie on it, which makes everything, just a little bit hotter, right? So,
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're a good-looking couple. So yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So if Lexi sort of as a character could step into the fictional world that you've created, what do you think that her reaction would be?
Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that knowing the real Lexie as a little bit, and the fictional Lexie a lot, um, I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd be better placed to answer that one. What do you think?
Yeah. I think she'd be pretty pleased with the world you created. I mean, you created something, I really like how in the midst of the storytelling, both the non, in a sex scene storytelling, but then also the sex scene storytelling, you intersperse this humor that I really enjoyed, and I was like, "Huh, I don't know if I was clever enough, if I would have been clever enough to think that or say that, but thank you for doing that for me, Gabby." You know? I think you were great, and I really, really enjoyed that there was this wonderful sense of, sometimes dry and sometimes just, like, expressive humor dripping, throughout the book, and I really loved that.
I was so thrilled that you said that because that's something that I really love humor. I think but it's super hard to put into sexy books. Having like some slapstick or something, it just doesn't work in like a sexy book. But as I've been getting more and more experience, it's something that I find is naturally falling onto the page. And I think it can work, I think, in a really interesting way, especially with someone is like really dry. If someone, with the cuckoldress character, she can be quite sarky in, in a really like kind of fun way, especially with the cuck character. And that I think that adds an extra dimension that I think is rare in any erotica at all. So yeah, I'm thrilled that you liked it because that's something I'm really enjoying adding into the books, and especially your book. I think it really works.
I think it added so much.
I mean, I think it really felt like I was watching Lexi and I like on a camera or something like that, like on a hidden camera. So I really encourage listeners. I mean, you must have really listened very carefully to the podcast and some of the little playful jabs that Lexi throws at me because you inserted those, and I thought it was really good. So for our listeners out there, if you want to know what it's like to kind of be along with us for a night and be a fly on the wall, this book is for you. So if you're curious about what it's like to be in the middle of our relationship dynamic, it's a really good book. So I appreciate that, Gabby. I know that the world that you created, Chris would eat it up. I mean, it was, especially if it's 5 short stories and it all happens kind of like in a sequence. I'm like, my gosh, that would be an amazing 5 days. So, yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm so pleased. Yeah, it's uh, yeah, it's so much fun to write. And it fell off onto the page, but I've left in there Easter eggs because before I started writing, Lexi and I had a chat, and we were trying to, sort of impart some, juicy little things that would be, real to you guys, that would give it some extra life. So some of those bits of the conversation are in the book, but I'm not going to say which ones. That's the Easter eggs.
I can't,
Love it.
I can't wait to go back through and all that stuff. So, Gabby, I know you had some questions for the two of us. You want to fire away those ones?
I do. Let me remind myself about. There we go. So there's sort of a question that you asked me, but I'd love to know the other way around. How did you feel about having someone else write about you?
I mean, I couldn't be more flattered. I mean, I just to even have the opportunity to be an inspiration for a work of art like that it's flattering. It's something that I never really would have envisioned, happening, and I can't even express how excited and happy I am that you decided to write this masterpiece, and I feel like you captured us so well and just did such a bang up job with it. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, wow, like it's pretty cool that we have a life that is exciting enough to write about. Um, but I was just really happy with how you captured our characters and captured the humanity of us
Mhm.
within this, because in erotica, a lot of the times, that part might be missing, where you don't have those kind of intricacies. So I appreciated that, and I just really appreciate that you did this. Bringing our story to life in a really exciting way.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, my pleasure. And it's only because you are, you're real people, so it lends itself to the three dimensions, characters that go. So it was so easy to imagine you because you are real. So putting you on the page was, and I'm glad it came across with three dimensional and with humanity behind them. So that's tickled pink. I'm tickled pink. So my next question is, how did you feel when you were reading it?
So I don't know why, but during certain scenes and stuff when I'm reading it, I'm like, I find myself blushing. I'm like, oh my gosh, look what I'm doing. It was, it's surreal, reading about yourself doing these things. And, even though I have done most of those things, it's still like when I'm reading it on a page, I'm like, oh, I'm so naughty. And I don't know, it was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was turned on basically from the word go, because that first story that you wrote was just so spot on. And so, yeah, I was aroused, but I was also, I was just kind of in awe of how well you were able to capture us as people like that. That's what I was a little bit surprised about. I didn't know you were going to be able to get into those intricacies and just the little barbs we give, but also like the thoughts we have internally about making sure the other person is okay and all that stuff. So I thought you did a really great job with that.
Oh, thank you. And I've got one more question. Uh, oh yeah, there we go. I won't ask specifics because I don't want to spoil the story. But was there one part of the book where you were like, "Oh my God, this is like really close to something that really happened"? Was there anything in there that you thought it's like she might have seen this thing happen? It's so like close to reality.
Yeah. So for me, it was, I mean, that first scene really got me, but I mean, they all were similar. But the thing that got me about the first scene and the subsequent scenes was when Lexie is with another guy, she gets lost in him. And that was what I got from your writing is she was getting lost in other people, but she would come up from air and not forget that I existed. And that's pretty much exactly how it goes down. And I love that part. I love when Lexi gets lost in other people. I think it's super fun. I think it's fun to watch. And most of all, I want her to be happy. So, seeing her get lost in other people and but still coming back and not forgetting that I completely exist, I thought that really resonated with me. It felt very realistic. It felt like something that would go on in my creative, imaginative cuck brain.
Yeah. I have to agree. I really, when you asked that question, I immediately started thinking about the first scene as well. Because, it does like what he was just saying, a moment ago, it, without us giving you too much, it feels like you were inside of our heads kind of, you were able to, um, pretty accurately describe, how multiple evenings have gone with us and the things we were thinking when they were happening and what it would have looked like, especially like from his point of view and everything. Like I feel like you really I was surprised reading it. I was like, geez, were you there? Like, you know, I like I it just reminded me of very much how some evenings have gone with us and exactly what we were thinking as the evenings were progressing and what we did.
Mhm. Yeah. So Gabby, this book comes out in a few days, right? When is it actually going to drop on? It's going to be on Amazon, right? How do folks find it?
It's on. It's going to be on everything. It'll be on Amazon. It'll be on Apple. It'll be, almost all the outlets. So I'll drop the link over, and you can put it in the bottom of the podcast. I guess.
Yeah.
And it drops on the first of August. So that's when the ebook drops on Amazon. Because I was late there, the paper copy drops on the 2nd. But everywhere else, it's the ebook is going to be there on the 1st of August. So this coming Saturday.
That is awesome. And we'll put a link in the show notes to the book, and we'll also put it on our website. And we'll have it there on the front page and a little link to go there and buy it. I really encourage you to buy it. I know Lexie has a lot of fans. And if you ever want to kind of get in there, just, and use your imagination and really get into what goes on in the bedroom part of a relationship, this is a good opportunity for you to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, Gabby, thank you so much again for writing the book and for joining us today.
Yeah.
And everybody, please make sure that you go and pick up a copy of this book. It would mean a lot to Gabby, but it also mean a lot to us. We really want you to invite you in, as much as possible to this part of our relationship. And I think when you read this book, you'll see all the different aspects and facets of our relationship, from the emotional part to the sexual part and everything in between.
Yeah, and I feel like regardless who it's about, I mean, it's just good writing. It's just a good book, whether it was about us or not. And she has so many good books out. So she's very much worth checking out. She's does amazing work, and it's always so interesting. You can't put it down.
Yeah. Well, Gabby, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Such a pleasure to catch up with you.
Yeah. And everybody, thank you so much for listening to this very special episode. Again, the book is called Lexie's Midnight Seductions. Right, Gabby? Is that right?
Yeah,
Lexie's Midnight Seductions.
Hmm.
And we'll put the link out there so you all can pick it up. Lexie, you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye, guys.